What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about Bitcoin. Jumping right into it, looking at it on the weekly, we are on the BTC USD Coinbase chart on the weekly here. The weekly RSI is at a low point, bouncing off the 40. Nice to see. And then rejecting the 45 area here. You've kind of rejected this area before, a little bit lower over there. I don't know, kind of right here as well. And you came a little, what did you do over here? What was this? You went slightly, oh so slightly lower. Kind of similar, not really though, is it? No, not really. Anyways. Looking at this thing here, the RSI is kind of neutral, I would say. We do have lower highs and lower lows, so that would make it inherently bearish. Yes, we are below the 50 as well, adding to that inherent bearishness. But more or less, it's not necessarily too weak, is it? Because you bounced off the 40. This could go lower. Now, I think some people maybe might, at first glance, think this is some kind of like channel down. I think we've broken out of this potential for a channel, right? Because we have, if we take this here, this low to this low here, get it right there. We're kind of in this, let's see, I think that's pretty drawn. That's drawn on there pretty well. Maybe it's like this one here. I don't know. We're kind of at this line, but we broke below it. So I don't think that we're finding support on this line right now. We are disrespecting it at the moment. This line might be irrelevant now. So just because it looks like with the naked eye, it kind of looks like you're in this descending channel and you might come up, I wouldn't bank on that. You might come up. You might come up, and you might form another lower high. You know, that is completely possible, but that might be at this 50 area, which you found support on before, maybe find resistance. That wouldn't mean that we're going to move up a tremendous amount, but maybe enough to set us up for a more bearish rejection. I do think as the weeks develop that this price is starting to look more and more bearish, right? You've got this bearish engulfing candle, huge move down, kind of like a Bart looking pattern on the weekly. We've been moving sideways for a little bit. All we've been doing is forming lower highs and lower lows, technically. After forming a lower high, I would expect us to form a lower low. If we were to go lower than this line here at this low, I very much would think that we take out that low and then continue to move on lower. Now, where could we go? Where do we go? You know, if we look at this thing from a fib perspective, from low, is that the low? I think that's the low, to high, low to high. The 382 is right there at 24,171. This is an area that I've marked off not just because of the 382, but if we take this weekly close here on a high basis and this weekly close here on a high basis, we have found resistance at this area as well. So I think somewhere, you know, between 24,300 potentially, and then even on a monthly basis, if we take the same kind of idea with these highs here finding resistance, highs here finding resistance, between about 24,300 to 23,127, something like that. You know, give or take a few dollars, a few $100s, something like that. Somewhere in this area is what I would think that we are going to find our bottom at. Where I think we're going to find our bottom at. And can we do something where we go below the 382 and we find our bottom in the middle of this like zone of nothingness? Yes we can. These are not lines that are like magnetic. You do not have to go to them and then bounce off of them. You know, they're not stone walls. They are breakable. They're you know, they are significant. We definitely find significance on them, but as you can see here, let me move this. You know, you went right below it here. Yes, you tipped it here, but you even wicked above it a little bit here. You wicked above your 236, but overall you can see how you held it as resistance. Can you find support on your 382 but still wick below it, even close below it? Absolutely you can. So again, just reinstating the fact that I think that between about 24,300 to 23,100, was it? Something like that. Yeah, 23,100 is where I would expect this Bitcoin price to find its low at. In other words, below this low, but above this low, and probably around these highs at the lowest is what I would think. We could go lower. We really could go lower, but I think a lot of people are stuck right now. I think a lot of people who are watching Bitcoin are stuck right now, and maybe I'm stuck. Maybe I'm stuck in my thoughts as well. But I think a lot of people are thinking, well, if it goes up from here, it's bull market time. It's time, guys. We are going to 40K by the end of the year. Here we go. And if we go lower than this low here, there are people who are like, it's on, guys. It's on to the downside. We are going to break below 10K by the end of the year. We're going to take out this low. The bear market's not over. And I don't like to think in extremes so much, especially whenever everybody is thinking in extremes. And I feel like a lot of people are thinking in extremes. There's a lot of talk of like, if this gives out, it's over. If this gives out, it's on. Like I don't think so. You know, we're still pretty far away from the halving. It is the end of September right now, so we have October, November, December, January, February, March, April, right? April. So that's 7 months. It's more than a half year away, and generally, by the time of the halving, Bitcoin is anywhere from like 45% to 55% away from its all-time high, right? Its all-time high is at 70K, so 50% would be 35K. 40%, I'm pretty sure, maybe it was like 46%, I think, is the smallest, the lowest percentage gap that we've been away from the all-time high before. That would put us still below 40K, and that's by the halving. Okay, so if we were to move up prior, you know, there is the possibility that we could move up above those numbers into 40K before the halving and then come back down. That's possible too, to be completely fair. But by the halving, we would likely not be above 40K. Statistically speaking, from throughout all of Bitcoin's halving events, we're likely not going to be above 40K. Maybe we go above it before then, maybe we don't, but one way or another, by the halving, we're not going to be at 40K. So here we are sitting at 26K, $357 now. If we break to the upside, is it game on? No, not. I would say no, not for another 7 months. Yes, I think things, if we were to break to the upside, obviously things would be at a higher price than they are now, which, you know, would make this a relatively good time to buy if we were to go up. I don't think we are. But if we go lower, if we break this low, is it game over? Like, are we shitting the bed, or is it you know, time to just like get a job at McDonald's and like just hate your life? No, it's not. It's definitely not. You know, I don't think either of those things are true. I think what's more true is that people are irrational and we jump to conclusions quickly, and sometimes when everybody has their eyes on one thing, it's actually, or another thing even, or two things, there's a third option, maybe a fourth option that nobody is thinking of, that is the more, maybe not more likely, but it becomes more likely because it's the unexpected move, right? And that's exactly why I like this area here, because a lot of people, you know, in an uptrend, especially like a powerful uptrend, which if this is the bottom of the market, you would expect that we are, and this is just consolidating, we might be cooking something really fierce up right now. Finding support on the 382 is classic. It's very classic. A lot of people are going to be talking about, oh, Bitcoin loves the 618, and it does like the 618, but it doesn't have to go here. It's not a magnet. You know, it's not just like it's going to get pulled to that immediately. And maybe it does. You know, maybe it does go that low. But I'm not dogging on anyone who thinks it's going that low. I'm not dogging on anyone who thinks it's going up from here, but I just feel like a lot of people have their eyes down here, and a lot of people have their eyes on higher prices by the end of the year. So I take a little bit of solace knowing that I'm not in that majority of thought, because it tends to be the thing that's the most unexpected that happens, but not always. You know, I guess the most unexpected thing for Bitcoin would be this thing goes to zero, right? Maybe not in world views, but in the crypto space views. So, and I don't think that's going to happen, right? But I'm detesting here. Let's get back to like the actual TA and just stop talking so much. So looking at the weekly, again, the RSI is neutral to a degree, but with a bearish tilt to it. On the daily here, looking at the daily, kind of a bullish looking RSI, I'm not going to lie. Being below the 50 is not necessarily a good thing. You are at an area where you've turned around before even. So, I mean, you could turn around here. Looking at the price itself, I mean, you've got lower highs and lower lows. Ideally, you would probably form another low. And I don't mean ideally because of my personal bias. I just mean like that's kind of how things would happen, right? You form a lower high, you're going to form a lower low. Let's see. I wonder if you broke this kind of formation. It's not really like a solid formation, though, is it? No, you haven't broke it. You could go lower even and then bounce from there. It is possible. You know, let's see. Let's see here. From low to high. Yeah, man, you could go. You really could, Bitcoin. You could find support in this area right here, in your 618 to 69 area, between about 25,900. Yeah, let's say 25,900 and 25,700. Just a little bit below that, 25,670. Somewhere in that range, you could find support and then make a little bit of a move up from there. but that all in all, it could just be another lower high, right? It could be somewhat of a convincing move like this was here. You might come down, you have a higher low, and then you form just another lower high, and then you make your move down. Maybe you don't get that move. Maybe you don't find support on this RSI or on your 618 area. Maybe you actually just go straight through, come back up, find resistance on it, and then go down. More or less, I would expect that area is going to find some significance on it, because it's also, if we take this and we put some lines on it at the 6.9 itself, and then at the 618, that's a little bit above it, isn't it? Let's put it right at the 618. Delete the fib now. This area, excluding this little fake breakout to the downside or lower low or whatever you want to call it, this is the support zone right here, this whole zone. So breaking through this zone would be very critical for the bulls and for the bears. If we break through the zone, if we get a move that takes us through that, we're breaking through the 618 of this overall low to high here, and confirming the idea, or more bringing validation to the idea that this was a lower high formation. We're going to go down and form a lower low. What would really be like a knife in the heart for this would be if we break below it, we come back up, we find resistance in this area, and then we continue to go down. Something like that would, to me, imply that we are going to definitely see lower prices than the current low of $24,900. What would also come from that, if we were to go below there, would be, I think at that point it's safe to say we're going to go below this low here. The next area of support would be on this more macro weekly fib base, would be that 382, which comes in right around here, right around that weekly high closing level. That 382 is right there, man. So that's kind of my expectation. That's my expectation. All this to say, I think somewhere between, and again, it's completely possible, completely fathomable that we could bottom in this range between the 382 and the 0.5. It's also completely fathomable that we could go down to the 618 and 69 area. That is possible as well. I don't think so much that we're going to go up from here. I think we've found resistance on this 236 enough without even touching the 382. It's very common to find support on the 382 and bounce from there at least, and we haven't even done that yet. So let's get down there and just see how this reacts. Anything up from here, I would say gets sold into. I feel very confident and safe saying that. As far as where is it going to find its low, I feel pretty confident in saying something around like 24K, give or take a few $100s either way. Something around there would make sense to me. But there is a solid chance. There really is a solid chance. Bitcoin does like its 618 and 690. It even likes its 786, So there's a solid chance that we could return again, because what else is in that area? We've got lows down here. That's right around that 786. The 618 itself comes in, I guess, not really anywhere that makes sense with price other than this low here. There's a bunch of things that make sense down in that area too. So definitely keep your eyes open for that. We'll see how it goes. But at the moment, guys, I do think that we're probably going to find support somewhere again between this weekly high period, closing high period, to the monthly closing high period, which would take us anywhere from about $24,300 to about $23,100, right? Somewhere in that range. So if you like the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to see more. I appreciate everybody. I want to look at the 4-hour real quick. I know I basically just made it sound like I'm done, and I am basically done. I think anyone who's watched the video so far, you guys have heard basically everything I need to say. But looking at it on the 4-hour, yeah, the 4-hour looks bearish, man. I wish I said this before the ending of the video, because this daily looks deceivingly bullish. The weekly looks neutral, bearish, so not really saying much, but kind of bearish. Daily looks kind of bullish, even though you're below the 50. But the 4-hour, I think, is where we're finding the truth, right? You've got higher highs here, building up higher highs, and all you've done is get lower highs. So hidden bearish divergence, I do think you go lower, man. I do. I think if you move up at all, it's not going to be a lot, and it won't be long-lived. You're below your purple line, you're actually you're above your purple line, and you're below the 50 on this. I think you're going lower. I definitely do. So with that, I'll leave you. Anyways, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.